Let me just start off by saying, yes, this video is heavily inspired by Jellopocalypse in his video, Every Disney Film Reviewed in 10 Words or Less. I heavily recommend you watching his video. It is hilarious. It came out 7 years ago, so, it's missing out on some more newer movies, but definitely a fantastic one and was an inspiration for this video. The desire to do a video like this, though, stems from my appreciation of the history of animation. I've always been a huge fan of animation, let it be cartoons on TV or feature-length films, right? You got your anime, you got your more Western style, doesn't matter. I've always loved animation, and I tend to be more interested in a story told in animation than told in live action. It just feels like a more fun way to express and show off the human emotion. And whether you like it or not, Disney has one of the most important and storied histories connecting directly to animation as a whole. And with a mix of curiosity and nostalgia, I began this odyssey to watch every Disney animated feature film. Enough of that preamble. You'll understand how this video is going to be organized once we get going, so let's hit the ground running. And away we go! I kind of wrapped all these movies into one little segment because they're all very similar. Due to the lower budget during the wartime era, all 6 of these films are very much the same style, similar scope and scale, none too interesting or beyond what you'd see on TV at the time. But it is interesting to see how World War II impacted Disney as a company. Animation done to classical music for 2 hours. Yeah, this is a creative idea, but the film was boring despite the animation and music quality. Sword in the I'm bored. What has 3 different voice actors, man, and they all sound very different, and they change mid-scene. Movie overall is pretty boring and kinda aimless, but I will say, I do like the run-on joke that Merlin has knowledge of the future. Best point, boom, it's a movie. And stuff happens in it. Honestly though, it's one of those movies that can be enjoyed, not in a this is so bad it's good, in a I'm hating myself and every moment of this movie is making me just dread living, but it's kind of fun to be challenged. Though it is very forgettable, and the CG looks uncomfortable at best, even for the time. This movie should be studied in how to date yourself as soon as possible. The internet references are just way too topical for the time that watching it today is almost unbearable. Ralph is way too clingy to the point where it annoys me as a viewer to watch, but the princess scene was fun though. What if video games had feelings? Game references are kinda cool, but surface level, the rest of the movie to me is really boring and can be skipped. I'll never forget the nightmarish pink elephant scene that haunts my dreams, at least as a child it did. Wasn't that bad as an adult. The story between Dumbo and his mom is so cute though. I wish this was a better movie. The only 2 pros I can really think of is that the star guy was really cute and the Disney references were kind of fun to find. I know this one's a cold take, but the animation looked weird. The characters looked good in still shots, but in motion, it just felt off. It also felt like they wanted to keep it basic like traditional Disney movies back in the day, but they also wanted to have the character writing of the modern day movies where there's more nuances to the characters, and it just kind of left characters feeling unfinished and not fully fleshed out. The power of yodeling! And then there's the rest of the movie. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. Extremely sad and well done death scene, but the movie's kinda boring. Yo bro, that apple's kinda sketchy. This movie is a first of its kind, the first feature-length animated film. It's iconic. That being said, the scenes do drag on for a little bit too long. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy, I swear it. I'm a good boy. Don't hurt me. I'm a good boy, I swear it. It's like a run-on sentence that goes on and 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 on. Great art and creepy, well-done villain, but all the characters in the film, they're so annoying. The CG looks odd and very dated compared to what Pixar was doing at the time, but there was a couple scenes that made me laugh. It's a kooky time travel movie with a funny hat. It's like The Truman Show, but for a dog. Animation done to classical music, again, but this time with flying whales. Movie can be kinda problematic sometimes. Also, Peter Pan's a dick. Hook though, Hook is a fun villain. fun, catchy songs, sung by dangerous wild animals. The transition between human to bear was done fantastically, with both the aspect ratio and palette changing. That being said, the movie had potential, but kind of fell off at the end. Bro, homegirl just wanted to be invited to a party, but you said no and she had to be a huge drama queen about it, and here we are. The full last third was action-packed. Simple, cute, adorable, chock full of childhood whimsy, simply beautiful. Second verse, same as the first, but with extra smiles. But like, why does the dragon kinda look like Elsa? It can't just be me, right? The first half is kinda boring and drags on, but the second half sticks the landing. A fun family adventure. With child endangerment. You tell them, Cinderella. She's way more sassy in this movie than I ever remembered. Also, the pet being named Lucifer, iconic. Bravo. Bravo. Really good world building, man. And a really good and creative way of telling a story about prejudice and the issues it has in society. Why make this? This movie is so sad. Who hurt you? Just a fun Sherlock Holmes style movie, and a really fun villain with a huge ego. It's just a cute little love story, and I love the way they put the pet perspective on humans and them having babies. Those Siamese cats though, not the best take. Also, the movie does end a bit too abruptly. It's a kind of generic adventure movie with themes about parental acceptance. You know, despite all the reused assets, this movie makes me smile from ear to ear. So, you're telling me our dog came back with how many puppies? This movie didn't need a sequel, but you know, money! This movie has such a good understanding of characterization. It feels like a genuine adventure. A story about a doe-eyed idiot that signs a legally binding contract. But for real though, this movie does it. It is the first of the Renaissance films, and it's the first one to try theatrical music blended in with animation, instead of classical music used in prior Disney films. I do have some lingering questions though, like how old was Beast when he got cursed? Because if he was cursed as a child, then that is just an unfair time because he's a kid and he's still learning. If he was cursed as an adult, then he's way too old for Belle. There's too many questions and I just need answers. Some posh cats get lost, meet a fun alley cat, and a questionable jazz band. A majestic eagle drawn into animation. A villain that's just an evil Crocodile Dundee. And a fantastic continuation of the concepts that were brought to us in the first movie. Historical inaccuracies aside, the art is beautiful, and the story shows an idealized balance between man and nature. Jafar plays a good villain to Aladdin and Jasmine, and there's some great songs, One Jump Ahead and A Whole New World being two examples. Super cute feel-good movie, with the beginning that just makes me tear up every single time. Best horse in cinema. Anna's way cooler than Elsa. Also, Olaf is simply unhinged. It makes me laugh almost every time. The only real criticism I have is I feel like the big plot twist villain should have been foreshadowed just a little bit. Kinda just jumps out of nowhere, and I know that's the point, but Shiny is the best song, and I will not be taking any questions. Great twist for the end, and the dynamic between the two main leads is done very well. And again, Shiny is the best song in this movie. Fantastically done. Well done. It's a great, touching movie that tackles the grief of loss very well. And the action scenes are pretty dang good too. I don't know what came first, the idea of the movie or the idea of hiring Phil Collins for the soundtrack, but it's a match made in heaven. Generational trauma, but with music! I also feel like the grandma's apology at the end to Mirabel wasn't as fulfilling as it should have been. The main cast, full of love. Friends on the Other Side is a fantastic villain song. Lilo is such a realistic child, it kinda hurts. It's such an earnest story about a family and its struggles as they try to find themselves. A true work of art with one of the most vile Disney villains of all time. Hellfire is art and probably the best Disney villain song of all time. A hilarious, self-aware slapstick comedy. The Huns are really cool villains, and considering how little screen time they have, they're decently characterized. Make a Man Out of You is a classic and super catchy. The story does a great job showing that the power of femininity can be just as powerful as masculinity. Nothing like childhood drama and a sassy uncle to live up the drama. Excellent opening shot and music number. No chance, no way, I won't say I'm in love. When I think of a Disney villain, Hades is the villain that comes to mind. James Woods does a fantastic job characterizing him, though the story can be pretty predictable. A fun pirate adventure with a heart of gold. Jim's and John's bond throughout this film just hits me right in the emotional gut. And that's a wrap. That is every Disney animated feature film ranked and put up for your amusement. I know lists like this can be incredibly subjective. I know I tried my best to be as subjective as possible, but you know, sometimes nostalgia kinda takes over. I am only human. And with the nature of the video and the way I want it formatted, I didn't really have the chance to go deep down into what I think about each individual film. So if you ever want me to actually sit down and talk about these films and actually give my in-depth opinion, let me know, I'll definitely do it. From here, let me just drop the cliches that we all know are coming. The basics in the comment section. Write down your tier list. Let me know what you think about my list, and let me know what your list is. I'm told that likes actually help the channel, and hey, I'm small and still growing, so drop a like. That is apparently nice to have. I don't know. That's what the script told me to say, at least. And I guess that's kind of all I have to say. Yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day, evening, or night whenever you're watching this, and yeah, till next time.
Read along.
Everyone arrived to help remove Pooh from Rabbit's front door.
And open up Disney's newest animated storybook, Pocahontas. Now it's your turn to play with Pocahontas and her animal friends.
It's Miko!
From Disney Interactive to your home computer, Disney animated storybooks, stories you'll love, just waiting for you to make them come to life.